Who is looking for an immune system powerhouse? Well, many of you are. Why wouldn't you be? Hello. So I want to make sure you know about the new kid on the block, CBG. Many of you have heard of CBD. Well, this is the baby that is born. Those are the babies that are born from CBG. CBG is the mother of all CBDs. CBD, if you're not sure about it, Google it. You'll find out about all the over 130 CBDs that are out there. And when you take CBG with it, you get the entourage effect. Hello. You can take CBG on its own. You don't need to take the CBD. That's okay. But you get a total entourage effect when you're using both of them. Okay. So let the doctors tell you a little bit about what CBG is, and I'll come back.
Here in Indianapolis, but I love his passion. He also specialized in integrative medicine, but he truly has a passion for helping people, helping people get healthy the natural way, which, as you can see, is a common theme on tonight's call. So with that, I want to bring Dr. Joe Kunzer to the line. Joe, are you here?
I'm here, Jenny. How are you, hon?
I'm doing great, my friend. I know we've been hearing about CBD oil like crazy, right, for the last 230 years. However, there's a new kid on the block, CBD.
Yes.
If you wouldn't mind, I would love for you to just share with everyone kind of what the difference is. I know CBD, most people have heard of. Very few people, if any, have probably heard of CBG. So take it away, my friend.
Amazing. Well, yes. Welcome to the future of cannabinoids, because CBG is it. So I want to spend a few minutes talking to you about the difference between CBD and CBG. And CBD cannabidiol, as Preston talked about earlier, which is a cannabinoid. It's a chemical compound found in the hemp plant, along with about 100 plus other cannabinoids. And so as I'm studying, I'm thinking, well, wait a second. I love the fact that we're full spectrum, because what about these other very important cannabinoids, CBA, CBN, CBC, CBC1, and the ever important CBG, which I've been studying. CBG is actually considered the mother of all cannabinoids. So, for example, before CBD is CBD, it is CBDA. And before it is CBDA, it is CBG. And why that's important is because cannabigerol, CBG, is the foundation of every other cannabinoid that we know. CBG breeds and births every other cannabinoid, CBA, CBN, CBC, CBC1, the ones that I just talked about, and all the others that I didn't. So this is a big deal as the mother of cannabinoids. The challenge is that it's very rare and very expensive, because if you understand the hemp plant, it grows very fast, and CBG is converted so quickly into those cannabinoids that it's very hard to harvest, per se. So what I am excited about and love about our company and our CEO that have just really had the foresight to understand this is that we have actually bred our seeds to contain 60 times more CBG than found in just the regular hemp plant. And that's a big deal. And when I say breed, I want to make this very clear, because I'm always asked this question. Do you mean you genetically modified it? No, we do not genetically modify. That is very different than breeding. Genetically modified breeding, I'm talking about like what you would do with a thoroughbred, with a racehorse. You would breed them up to a better thoroughbred. So we have bred our seeds to contain 60 times more CBG than the normal hemp plant. And I'm telling you, it is amazing. So the reason why I love the fact that it's the mother of cannabinoids is, and why it's so much more effective, and why I believe absolutely this will be bigger than CBD, is because unlike CBD, which is a great compound that affects a secondary site on the receptor that we talked about. You heard Carrie talk about the CB1 and CB2 receptors. Well, you can attach cannabinoids like CBD, attaches to it like a side or a backdoor called an allosteric or a secondary receptor, and that's good. But CBG goes right through the front door. It attaches to what's called an orthosteric or a primary receptor, and that is much more effective than a secondary receptor. However, because those receptors can each only take CBG and the side door or back door CBD, when they both combine, you actually, by adding CBG to your CBD, and not a lot, but just 5 or 6 drops, you will supercharge your CBD and will be so much more effective. And the stories are just unbelievable. So this CBG, and I'm so proud that we are the only true CBG product in the market is going to be an absolute blessing and a big deal.
That's awesome. Thank you, Dr. Joe. I know we're already hearing a lot of really exciting results with that CBG. And I know there's a lot of different research out there already. You can actually go on the internet and Google CBG, and you're going to find that it's going to help with a wide variety of issues, primarily immune. If people have issues, and I'll actually let Dr. Amy Brenner probably speak to that. But anyway, Dr. Joe, thank you so much for jumping on and sharing your excitement about CBG and how using that along with CBD can really maximize the results in the human body, which at the end of the day, that's what we're all looking for, right? We're all looking for maximum health. We want to feel good. We don't want to be loaded up on a lot of prescriptions. So thank you, Joe. I appreciate you so much. And now we're going to move on to our next panelist, who I'm super excited about. Hailing all the way from Cincinnati, Ohio, is my friend, my business colleague, Dr. Amy Brenner. You guys, a little backdrop on Dr. Brenner. She actually, she's dual board certified. This lady is dual board certified in both as an OBGYN, but also in anti-aging and functional medicine. She actually owns a very successful practice, but is also now very passionate about offering her patients alternatives with products that we're talking about, like CBD as well as CBG. So Dr. Amy Brenner, thank you for joining us tonight. We're really excited to have you on here. If you wouldn't mind, maybe just kind of share with everyone on the call kind of what patients do you see maybe wanting to really focus on with CBG? Is there a certain patient type or health concerns that you're going to focus on with that?
Sure, Jenny. Thank you so much. So I couldn't agree more with Dr. Joe of using CBG to supercharge or augment the results that somebody may have already received with CBD. So perhaps if they needed a little bit more sleep support, mood support, or helping with aches and pains or recovery. So I see it used in that manner. But I also want to talk just about scientifically of how it works. Dr. Joe mentioned of how it specifically acts on the CB2 receptors. So I'm going to use it in my practice because of its effect on all of the immune system cells. Is for anybody with an autoimmune condition or anybody with somebody that's sick a lot. So I think it'll be really helpful even more with CBG compared to CBD in those patients. Also because its effect on what it does of reducing inflammation in the bowel. So the bowel is really, or the gut is really the root cause of so many medical issues. Probably Carrie and Dr. Joe and our practice are very similar. We want to get to the root cause. So healing the gut is really important. So I think this will play a big role in our practices as we use it to decrease inflammation in the gut. I also see a huge role of using this because of its neuroprotective capability. So I personally have had just life-changing results taking CBD. So I didn't really feel like I needed to add CBG from a clinical standpoint in order to improve my outcomes. But when I really read the data of what CBG can do to regenerate neurons in our brain, I immediately wanted to start taking this. As an OBGYN, countless nights delivering babies and staying up all night, sleep is so important, and that can be really toxic to our brain cells as well as just stress and high cortisol. So I really was excited for me personally to add in CBG to, because I have a lot of family history of dementia. So I added it for the additional neuroprotective components to it. Then I just want to highlight specifically of how CBG can have some different effects on how it works in our body compared to CBD. So there are specific receptors in our eye that are receptive to CBG, and CBG can help with conditions that have high intraocular pressure. So by lowering that, it could potentially augment conditions that have high intraocular pressure. Also, in an OB-GYN practice, we have a lot of patients that have bladder issues. So if you ever remember that commercial, gotta go right now, that is where the bladder just starts contracting, and women have symptoms of urgency and frequency. So CBG can have some targeted effects on inhibiting muscle contractions in the bladder. So I'm really excited to use it for patients with that type of scenario. Also, because it is a alpha-2 agonist, and what that means is it can work on helping with healthy cardiovascular systems, particularly as it relates to blood pressure. So I'm very excited to use it in that population as well. So we're really excited to have this as well as CBD in our practice. Just like Carrie said, patients are really looking for this kind of natural approach and having a paradigm shift to potentially get off prescription drugs that have side effects. And with CBD and as well as CBG, we're really looking forward to not having side effects, but rather the side benefits.
Wow, you're amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Brenner, for just sharing your wealth of information. We can't thank you enough for joining us on this panel tonight, and definitely looking forward to hearing some of the results that your patients are going to get from implementing CBG in addition to this. So thank you again. Well, guys, I know our time is about up. I just want to
Okay, now you know, it's not a secret anymore. And you're going to be probably wanting to get this into your hands right away. So get over to my website, www.improvelife.club. You heard that, not anything after the dot, but club, okay? No .coms here. So we're going to have you join the club, Improving Life. So improvelife.club. And I will have a link associated with this video, so that way you can find it with just a click. Get over, look at the CBGs, get that delivered over to you. If you're not currently on CBD and you'd like to add that to your regimen as well, there's a combo pack, and totally 100% worth every penny. Invest in your health right now before you say, I wish I would have, okay? So get over there. I'm a PM away, so private message me if you have any questions. And I am looking forward to your new health. Welcome.